Hello everyone, and welcome back to Atari Vault. We are rapidly approaching the end of this series. We actually don't have very many left. We have this Tempest game, and then not too many others. That's it. So this should be pretty fun. So Tempest, we're going ahead, and we've done this before. We've done the arcade one. It's interesting. It shows the arcade cabinet on the cover of this. I'm pretty sure that counts as false advertising. Because no way, no how. Well, I guess it could match up. They did a fairly good job with a couple of the other arcade cabinet ones. The manual, see if there's anything weird here. Oh no, it's an unreleased prototype. Okay. All easy difficulty. So apparently they didn't build it up. But you can see where games 1 and 3, or probably actually 2 and 4, were supposed to be different difficulty levels, and they just never made it. And then, of course, we have the other part of the manual. But yeah, that's it. That's all we get. So no indication what the actual buttons are. Obviously, if it's made for the basic arcade controller, it's going to be, you know, movement and a button. So let's go ahead and just jump in, I guess. Boingo, boingo. Boingo, boingo. Really? That's where I'm going with this? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is not exactly what you would call arcade quality. Looks like they're working on maybe, like, you know, half the pixels or something. I don't know. This is really... I wouldn't call it bad exactly, but I wouldn't exactly call it true to form either. I mean, what the hell? Okay, anyway. Yeah, sure, 5 lives. You're not going to do anything else with this. I mean, there's no black and white switch because they didn't even finish the game. Okay. I mean, the shapes kind of work. Yeah, so really in this collection, so this gets into a weird spot, right? And I'll go ahead and start playing the game while I babble about this. So this gets into a weird spot where it's got to be, you know, if you're gonna use this, if you're gonna buy this collection, I suppose I should say, using is probably a strong word, but if you're gonna buy this collection, it's kind of weird. I mean, I can see selling this as maybe another option for people who don't want to buy the other game, you know? But the fact of the matter is, this is all in the same collection, so it's a little weird that you need to have 3 or 4 different variations on the same game. It kind of seems like you'd pick one. And okay, yeah, maybe your number of games wouldn't be that great. That's definitely a risk, but I think you take that risk. I think you go with, you know, whatever you think is the best version of the game. Did I actually die there? I totally died there. It's a bad rendition of a death scene, but again, it is a prototype. So yeah, with the version of a game that already exists that's far better, why show the prototype? Well, okay, so thinking of this as like, I don't know. Well, first of all, you got to think of it as like the marketing way, right? So the marketing reason is because then you get the nice round number of 101 or whatever the heck the actual value of the numbers is. And we're just going around beating up things because what the hell? We beat up all the things. We're getting creamed, though. 70-50? That's a horrible score. So, yeah, I mean, there's an easy marketing reason. But to justify it, like, in a non-marketing way, is there really a good justification? I don't know. I don't think so. It seems kind of weird that you'd have a few variations that aren't necessarily very good, but might be regarded as true for the era. I mean, if this is in a museum, well, let's look at it that way then. Okay, let's look at this game collection as a museum collection. In that case, you would want the good with... Wow, I just ran into the shot there. You would want the good with the bad, right? You wouldn't want just, you know, the stuff that actually sold. You would want everything. You would want, you know, to get some kind of culture piece here. That was actually far, far worse. Right, you would want a culture milestone, I guess? I don't know if you call this a milestone. I guess if you were working from an Atari, you would regard this as a milestone. But let's not forget that the current company called Atari isn't actually Atari. Okay, this was a company that was bought out by... Shit, man, I don't remember. Is it Infogrames? I think it was Infogrames. And then the name of Infogrames got tarnished somehow, and I don't remember how. Maybe it didn't get tarnished. Maybe they just decided, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and name ourselves Atari because everyone knows the name Atari and everyone loves Atari. And yeah, I think that's true in general. I think most people who have at least some kind of gaming background know who Atari is, can appreciate that, you know, they are a decent source of games. And so, you know, you're kind of building up their reputation. The thing is, though, you can't just leave the reputation the way it is, right? You've got to, like, build on it. You can't just say, oh, yeah, we're Atari, trust us. That doesn't work. That only carries you so far. You've got to be able to say, you know, not only can you trust us because of this long history, you can trust us because we're going to prove ourselves in, you know, X, Y, and Z of ways. Okay, so what is wrong with this game? Why did this never make the prototype stage? Well, I can offer a few possibilities here, just based on what play we've gotten so far. First of all, the bullet size is a little too small. I don't think that actually works. The trouble is, how do you boost up the bullet size? I mean, obviously that means increasing the pixel count. But increasing the pixel count to be more is going to be difficult. And none of the shots really... I mean, maybe the bullet count isn't actually or bullet size isn't actually the big deal here. I think the main problem is I mean, I can kind of tell what lane I'm in, but not really. Movement is smooth, so they at least got that part down. Unfortunately, it's way too easy to throw yourself in front of the bullets. What could alleviate that? Possibly skill. I'm not skilled, so that could definitely be it. But wow, really, just nailed me right there. I think being able to intercept the bullets with your own bullets would be good. I think that could actually cause a lot of interesting strategies there. So, you know, you take out the bullets by shooting them down. That could work. Somehow I got caught there. I'm not exactly sure what caught me there. But I think this is a game that really needs a good bit depth. And unfortunately, I don't think this works. Now, do you think that's what caused the downfall of this game? Why not got released? That's hard to say, actually. I would say the reason this never got released is probably because the console reached end of life, and they already come up with the, oh, I forget what it's called. It's the Jaguar 2600 or something like that. I don't remember. Wow, just run right into the bullets. Something like that. It was some kind of, somehow I missed that bullet. It was some other version of the console. It was an Atari console, I thought. Or it's possible, I mean, so with the problem that Atari ran into eventually, and it didn't necessarily cause the death of the brand at the time, but it definitely hurt, was the ET game. And I've talked about the ET game before. If you guys don't know, you should look it up on Wikipedia. But basically, I mean, the gist of it is that there was a movie tie-in game, and as all movie tie-in games go, of course, it sucked, because, you know, movie tie-in, that's how that works. The only game I can think of that was a good movie tie-in was for The Incredible Hulk, and The Incredible Hulk was a bad movie. Not the one with, not the most recent one, but the other one that actually discussed Hulk's origins, not the one where he tries to maintain control of himself. And I actually don't remember the names of the actors, so it's totally not helping my cause here. But not the most recent one, but the one after that is the one that was the problem here. Yeah, I knew I was gonna get grabbed there. That was gonna happen. But anyway, I mean, that was a good game, because it was basically just, you know, going to the roots of what makes a game fun is going around smashing things, and that's pretty much all you did in that game. But anyway, yeah, they tried to do a movie tie-in with the ET. It didn't work. And actually, there were a lot of... So the problem here is that they didn't have anything like we have now, pre-orders, right? So there's no money down, basically. And the people in marketing thought, you know what? We're going to do bank with this game because this is a fucking Steven Spielberg movie. We're going to make bank. There's no question. No question at all. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to make, like, I forget how many it was. It was like 2 million ET games. And this is crazy at the time, because at the time, there weren't even 2 million Atari consoles in the world. So they weren't expecting it to be able to push consoles. this was going to be the reason to buy an Atari 2600. The game tanked pretty hard. Wow, I'm just running right into bullets. And so, and after that, they just couldn't recoup the losses. It just couldn't happen. You needed some kind of beautiful, beautiful game to come out at the same time that they could actually recoup their losses with, and that just didn't happen. E.T. was the only game for that particular period. I forget what that was, like 3 months or whatever it was. I don't remember. I wasn't there for it. I'm just basically going off what I remember from the Wikipedia page. So, yeah, so it tanked. And occasionally you'd get companies doing consoles, but for the by and large, consoles died until Nintendo came out. Oh yeah, I just got eaten there. Until Nintendo came out with a Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, why Nintendo decided to jump into the console, I have no idea. They thought they had something to bring, and I mean, that's apparently fair, because they're still around, and you can't deny that it's working. So, you know what I think this game has a problem with? I think it's the bullets. So, I might be wrong, but I don't remember the bad guys throwing bullets at you before. Am I wrong? I don't remember it. But these guys are throwing bullets, and the bullets are killing me, man, every time. I think the only way to avoid the bullets is just not to be in the lane. And you can't shoot them down. But, I mean, they're firing bullets pretty much as often as I am. And I think I can actually intercept their bullets. Oh, running right into the bad guy. That's a classy move there. Peace. Really helpful. Oh, man, just getting creamed here. Okay, so I'm apparently never going to beat the high score we had of, what was it, 70-50? Really? Never going to do it? All right, never going to do it. Never going to let you down. Never going to desert you. That's right, you've just been rickrolled. Not really, though, because I don't like the song. And I think that's the joke, right? You're not supposed to like the song, and so it's something horrible that happens to you, and people laugh because that's what they do when something horrible happens to other people that they don't know, is they laugh, because otherwise, you know, they'd have to cry, and no one's going to admit to doing that for some random stranger. This guy is freaking... Okay, that guy, that was a fair shot. You see that other guy, though? He was freaking avoiding everything I was throwing at him. That was nuts. So I wonder if I, like... No. Okay, I was thinking maybe I could, like, dodge the shots a little bit, but there's no Neo shit going on here. There's no way. Alright. I mean, I don't even know what level I'm on, man. There's no level indicator. I mean, you can clearly tell this is a prototype, right? There's so many other problems with this game. I think... What could help? Increase the size of the screen. Make it so the lanes weren't shaded. I think shading the lanes is actually where you get into a lot of trouble here. Because, well, for a bunch of different reasons, right? For one, shading really doesn't tell you what lane you're in. Each one of these, I'm going to call them lanes, but that's because I guess that's kind of what they are. But each one of these is actually made up of 2 lanes. There's like left side, right side of each one of these. That's already a little weird. But I guess if you didn't color it in, you'd have just the bare lines, and already we have so few pixels to work with here. There's no easy solution to fix this. I think it should have remained hidden forever. And I don't usually say that, but I mean, I had a lot of fun with some of the prototypes, but this prototype, I think, needs to go back to the drawing board. First of all, the bullets for the guys, I think, is bullshit. I don't think it works very well. It's too hard to tell, especially on the far side, whether or not you're about to be hit by a bullet. And sure enough, I was hit by a bullet right there. I didn't even see. Did you guys see that? I'm going to do the instant replay on that one. Also, yeah, not being able to intercept the bullets at all, or even dodge them very well. I mean, they're shooting across lanes. Am I crazy about that? I think they are. I think they're shooting across lanes. That should be illegal. You should only be able to shoot in the lane that you're currently in. But I'm doing some weird shit with the lanes too, and I don't think the lane code is totally working. I think there's some instance of me shooting across lanes. There's definitely instances, yeah, right there. They just shot across that one lane. And what the hell was that? How did I even... How? What? Yeah, the lanes are all weird. Look at this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to compare We're going to compare and contrast. Okay, keep this in mind here. We're going to go back. We're going to go out. And I'm going to compare this to... hold on. Apparently I need to use my mouse to do this properly. I'm going to compare this to Tempest on this machine. Okay, just look at this. This is far and above what was available on the Atari. And first of all, we have a full well, right? Oh, they aren't. They're totally shooting bullets. They are totally shooting bullets. Okay, that's what I get for my crappy memory. But here, the bullets don't move that fast. On the Atari 2600 game, now I'm not even playing anymore. Now I'm just critiquing. But on our Atari 2600 game, the bullets aren't moving as fast. So I think it's easier to intercept them. Also, in the arcade game, you can shoot a lot faster. We've seen before in a lot of the console games that we're usually limited to a certain number of shots. Here, you can see the player here is doing 15, 20 shots at a time. The computer just handles it. That totally makes sense. Oh, the avoiding spike thing. Yeah, that's a key part of being able to warp that I don't think we're going to get. And we can try it. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Go to the main menu here. So I'm going to go back down to the console version. Now we're in Tempest Atari console version. Yeah, and so you compare these two, and it's like, okay, I can kind of see where you're going. But the Crystal Caverns version... Oh, that's funny. I actually was playing the game there. I didn't even notice. How many shots can we do at once? I can't really tell, because some of the shots are shaded. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it seems like the shots are a little shaded. We are at least still in the one lane meta, so that's still true. So we should be able to take out the shots, but yeah, see, the shots are just moving too fast. And I think that has to do with the lane thing. So what would I do for this? So if I was deciding how to do this, I mean, clearly you can't have the same idea. Or you can't replicate it precisely, right? There's no way. There's no way that the Atari 2600 is going to be able to handle that kind of input, but you still want to give the same sort of gameplay. So what do? I think instead you lay it out flat. I think doing on the curve is an interesting idea, but it doesn't actually work. But I mean, this is why you do prototypes, right? So you can figure out what the problems are, and then you adjust and make corrections. So I think instead, the lanes still work. I think the lanes still totally work. I think instead, though, what you do is you lay it out flat. Basically play it a little bit like the bowling ball game. And I realize that's a weird kind of thing to draw inspiration from, but you take inspiration where you can get it, right? But yeah, a little bit like the bowling ball game where you actually have lanes you can actually see. Now, do we lane it? I think we line it still across the bottom. So not quite like the bowling ball game. I guess the bowling ball game adjusted 90 degrees, and I'm just running into shots. Come on, I want to beat my high score. I want to get 80,000. Not 80,000. 8,000. 80,000 is a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. But yeah, I think you lay it along the bottom, and then you rotate along. And then that way, all the lanes are the same size as this lane right here that I'm currently in. I think that could work, and could make it so that you could actually take out the shots with some degree of reliability. This right now relies a little bit too much on luck to be able to take the shots. Most of the time, you go into a lane where somebody's firing, you're going to just get killed. It's just going to happen. Somehow we didn't get killed there, but we totally got killed there. Yeah, as soon as they shoot down the lane... Oh, you see that? I actually intercepted one of the shots, but not that one. That's funny, though, because I was on one of the bigger lanes. So what causes that? I think that's just luck. I don't have a good explanation otherwise. Yeah, see, just running into the shots like that. Also, it seems like am I crazy, or do the bullets have persistence beyond the lanes? That seems wrong. I understand the bad guys being able to exist beyond the lanes, but the shots themselves seem to be a little bit outside of it. It's almost like the hitboxes aren't right, which is a weird thing to say in a game with this few pixels. It would seem like that'd be really easy. You just say, this is the boundary of the pixels that are allowed to hit. But that apparently is not the case. Yeah, because I'm not sure exactly how that shot hit me without without going outside the bounds. Also, some of these guys are able to shoot like their entire lives, which I think is also not entirely true to the game. I believe, and you're gonna have to go back to the older Tempest videos on the arcade to see if this is true. But I'm pretty sure the bad guys could only shoot when they're at a certain level. I don't think they necessarily shot when they were past like the halfway mark. And I don't know about the spike thing, man. I think the spikes are just never going to happen. I think we're going to take that as a given. But they were shooting. Okay, that's good to know. So they are at least trying to be... Oh, man, just running right into it. They're at least trying to be in the... Oh, man, how did I avoid that shot? They're trying to emulate it properly. And you got to appreciate the effort. But what do you do? Oh, that's right. That's right. They run away after a while. I forgot about that. So you don't necessarily need to shoot them all. I mean, obviously, that's how you get points. So you need to if, you want to score high. But if you miss, you just stay out of those lanes for a little while. They might bounce around a little while, but they'll eventually run away. And you don't need to worry about it. I don't know if we're going to beat that high score. What was I doing when I was getting that high score? This is apparently not repeatable. Am I doing one hit, one kills? Is that what I was doing? Doing Widowmaker here, not to, oversaturate with some Overwatch references there. Oversaturate with one. Yes, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, good. Keep him on the ropes. Don't... No. What? Okay, so also, some of these shots, they're blinking, right? And I think that's the main problem, is that it appears they're coming out of nowhere. Actually, that's not what's happening, is it's just the shots are blinking. Blinking shots, I think, is a neat idea. But when the shot is only 1 pixel, that does not work. Okay, you cannot blink with 1 pixel shots. It's not doable. You can't see well enough to be able to pull it off. Okay, so they're gonna break off. Just let them live. Somehow I avoided that. Somehow I was able to shoot them. I don't understand at all. But theoretically, did I just die? I died again. Okay. Somehow I didn't die there. I don't understand world right now. The world would like to go away and everyone would be their day. It is an interesting idea, though. They're trying to do like them walking across, but they don't have the animation frames for it. And I appreciate the idea, but okay, so if we lay it out flat, I think you basically, isn't this just Space Invaders? Space Invaders is not a property of Atari, I believe. We didn't play Space Invaders in this collection, so I believe that's true. But there are a lot of games that Atari, the original Atari, sold off before Infogrames acquired the licenses to get all the other stuff. I don't actually remember what they all were, but I mean, like Lode Runner, Joust, Dig Dug, all those are no longer owned by Infogrames/Atari. That is now all the property of, I don't know, wherever else the original Atari sold them off to. I have no idea who that would manage to be. Man, I'm just sucking horribly here. I don't know. Do you guys like it when I say we? I'm told it's supposed to, garner some kind of audience participation in the idea, we're all in this together kind of junk, but we're not all in this together. But I mean, it's my lack of skill that's causing the failure. And if I succeed, then that's my skill, not necessarily yours. But then again, I could be a little bit bolstered by the idea that, people are watching and I've got to be at least on my best behavior, if not my best skill level. So there's at least some kind of idea of, you guys help me out. There is some kind of agency there. I mean, it's a passive agency, but it is there. The more I see likes on the videos, the more I see comments. I mean, I don't necessarily respond to all the comments because I know I have like a real job that pays me, and YouTube does not pay my bills. But I mean, I do YouTube videos because I like doing YouTube videos because I like talking to random people on the internet. So that's just how that goes. But I think you guys have some kind of agency, passive or active, just be able to say, we're here, we're watching, we think you're horrible at video games, which I already know, but it's good to have backup confirmation there that it's not just people who are good at games that can post video on the internet. It's also all the bad people. We don't want the historians in the future 10,000 years from now, when they dig up the YouTube archives, and they will, there will be electronic historians. And I don't know what else you'd call them. Electronic historians sounds about right, but they'll probably have some cool name in the future, Some kind of... I mean, there's going to be a lot of history on the internet for them to dig up. And so they're going to be very, very busy. It's going to be quite the profession. Your grandchildren, you should definitely push them, and fuck that. You know what? Not your grandchildren, your children. Push them to get history degrees. You don't think it'll be that big right now, but think about all the stuff we put out on the internet. All the Wikipedia page edits. Wiki Wars is going to have some kind of... It's going to have a chapter in history book somewhere. It's going to happen. I can guarantee it. I mean, it might not happen in the next 10 years, but maybe in the next 20? I could see it maybe in 20 years. Be like a course on Wiki page wars, I can see that happening. And another page on, or another chapter rather, on YouTube commenters and how sometimes they can be toxic, but also useful. I mean, YouTube will still be around, so that's kind of a weird idea that there's going to be all this stuff on YouTube that people are just never going to see ever again. Your favorite YouTuber could be lost to the realms of history. Isn't that weird? Might not even be a footnote. That's what's really creepy. Is that, these things will just disappear and no one will even know. And then you've got to wonder, how many times has that happened over the course of history where the stuff that so many people were involved in and loved and appreciated is just gone forever and nobody even knew it existed. What does that got to be like? Those people looking down on us from, from the age of history, I guess, or from heaven, or, the afterlife of some kind, do they even care? Or are they going like, man, come on, man, I spent my life doing this stuff and nobody fucking knows. I imagine there's quite a bit of that. I mean, there's got to be like books that were written that were lost now. The Library of Alexandria, all that stuff's gone. We have no idea what that stuff is. Now it's just gone forever. And that's kind of creepy. And we have historians lamenting the loss of the Library of Alexandria. Are we gonna have some kind of historians lamenting the great YouTube purge of 2122? I have no idea. I don't even know if there's going to be a great YouTube purge 2022, but I'm assuming there is going to be some kind of electronic purge is going to wipe stuff out. Oh, okay, here we're seeing enemies we never saw before because I'm not that good to get to level 3 or whatever. Anyway, I babbled quite enough for this episode, so thank you guys for watching. This has been Tempest on the Atari 2600, not actually comparable in many ways. Actually, I mean, we can totally tell this is a prototype, right? It's a prototype game. I wish they finished it because it could have promise. They'd made a few adjustments. I think it could have worked. But as it is now, no. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Atari Vault Collection. I'm PC Universe, you're PC Universe too, and I'll see you guys next time.